So let me just get rid of this. And so this is bubbles. Then let me start After Effects.
So let me see something.
I'm starting over since
Perfect.
from zero. Yeah.
So, let me see. I think I have. Okay, so I have that app. I should have downloaded that app on my phone for the Chromecast, right? So should I just be able to Chromecast with the app, like when I?
Yeah, that. So when you connect Chromecast to the TV, it's going to cast a signal of Wi-Fi, and then you open that app, and that app is going to recognize that signal. It's going to say like, hey,
Okay. Well,
you connect to that Wi-Fi, and then it's going to tell you like, hey, we have I recognize a Chromecast in your Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Is this yours? And then you click yes, and then you just put a name on it.
Okay, we'll see if this works.
And then you tell the Chromecast to connect to your Wi-Fi.
Okay, let me see.
New
So
project.
where's the Chromecast on this fucker?
It's called home something like home.
That's not it.
No, home something. Home. This one. Just put it on your desktop or on your phone.
Well,
just drag it like this. Put it.
Okay.
That's the app so that you're going to.
So tomorrow I should be able to just put it on there.
Okay, so let's say that your main video is going to call beach bubble.
Okay.
So we don't get beach video. So we get different names. All right, frame rate 29.97. Everything here.
So now with this
And
frame
the
rate,
animation is only 30 seconds.
so this is if you change this to 60, it wouldn't play on my.
On your car?
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't have the codec for 60 frames per second. All right, so I have the composition beach video.
All right.
And then I'm going to import bubbles.
All right.
All right, so we have bubbles. Then I'm going to drop it into the composition. And there it is, right?
Okay.
So I'm going to right click the layer, bubbles.
Right.
And then, where the fuck? I forgot what I was doing. 1 second. Pre-comp. Yeah, pre-comp. So, mega bubbles. Oh, bubble container. So that's my bubble container, and then no, 1 second. Sorry. I had to make a new composition. I'm going to make a new composition file. New. Oh wait. Right here. New composition. I click on this one right here.
Okay.
So I'm going to create a new composition, and it's going to call bubble container. So why am I doing this? Because the composition is going to be the same size as my beach video, right?
Okay.
So you have the bubble container.
Okay.
Then you drop in the bubble container. Oh, 1 second. The bubble container, you drop it into the beach video, and then you open bubble container, and then you drop in the bubbles. So this is our main composition, the beach video.
Okay.
And inside the beach video, we have bubbles. So inside the bubbles, we have a bunch of bubbles. So this is where I'm going to start duplicating. So what I will do is, I will just mask this one. So just going to mask. All right, and everything is left out, right?
Right. Okay.
So technically, I just have one bubble.
Okay. So.
I just have one bubble.
So what did you? Okay. So what did you click so that it erased all the other bubbles?
I just finished
Once
making.
you finish that, and then the other ones are
Yeah,
gone because
yeah.
it's
when you want it to be reversed,
Right.
that's where you go to mask and then mask mode. But since I wanted to get the other things removed, I just closed. Once I finished making the mask, it automatically deleted everything.
So no matter, okay, so it'll automatically do that. So if you wanted to do this, you have to do what? You have to, if you want to delete this, you have to go to where on that?
Right click, mask. Oh, 1 second. So let me just finish the mask again. And then mask, mode, and subtract. Okay, so it's going to subtract whatever is inside the mask instead of add. So
there you go. Okay, so now you need to do that every time you go to mask one of these. It won't automatically do that. You have to tell it where you want to mask.
If you wanted to, right now it's just a regular mask, but the other one is a reversed mask. So let me just fuck around with this bubble. So I have the bubble. This is my main bubble. Let me just make it smaller. And it's gonna start right here. So what I'm going to do is just to, how the fuck do I do?
So what did you do? What did you press to slice this?
All right, so to slice it like that, I have the bubble and the complete layer, right?
Right.
So I press Command Shift and letter D.
Oh.
It's
so
like when you duplicate, you duplicate like that.
Command D.
But Command Shift D, it duplicates, but it cuts the first layer and the other one. So let's say that you have from here to here, you have bubble.
Right.
So let's make it smaller, so it's going to be like an instant. You know, like boop.
Right. Okay.
Boop, 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 right. So like this, I already have the little block over there, and then I'm going to duplicate this block, and I'm just gonna move it like here. Duplicate this block and move it like here. So we have like right.
Okay. So when you duplicated, how did you duplicate these?
That's a regular duplicate.
So you just put Control D.
Yeah. So
just go through everything.
Yeah. So this is right now the full layer, right? Okay. But I don't need the rest of this. Right. So I'm going to Command Shift D to slice it, and since I don't really need this long, I'm going to delete that, and I'm just going to keep the little block, the bubble that just appears and disappears. Pop. Right. Right. And then I just keep selected with that layer. Selected, I just press duplicate and I move it.
So you select it and then D. How do you duplicate?
Control D. Command D.
Control D. And so you're just reduplicating the bubble. Every time you reduplicate, it's giving you another layer.
Yeah.
So you're making it go on and off, right?
On and off.
Okay. Okay, right. So now, if you want that to move doing that, how do you
do one second. That's why we have a pre-composition. So let's say that we want to make it like this. Right. So it's pop, 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 right? So right here in the video, we have just one layer. That's what is the pre-composition. Okay. So we have the pop, 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 right?
Okay.
Now, since it's already animated, we can select this layer. Sure, let's make it a move. So right now the composition is the size of the entire video.
Okay.
So we have this thing moving, turning on and off, and now you want displacement, right?
Okay, so
you start here. Okay. You press P, position. Right. And then your keyframe, and then from here to here, they say that you want this displacement.
Okay.
So now you have this thing. It pops here. Oh, something like that.
Something like that. But how do you place it with all the bubbles? You want all the bubbles still there, not just one.
Right. So now you duplicate the bubble container. You duplicate it, bam, and then you can make this one go here. 1 second. You can this one. 1 second. 1 second. So the second layer, just gonna move it right here, and the second layer is going to be second layer position, and one second.
So you like that, but having all the bubbles with it.
Yeah. And then here's another keyframe. 1 second. The other. And I have to figure out a way to make that
To make all the bubbles appear at the same time.
not that like different times, so it doesn't look like so we have. I need to eliminate. 1 second. I need to clear this thing up
Okay.
and put it back into where it's placed. So we have the bubble right here. That. 1 second. It's already okay. So inside here,
Okay.
this is the other way to do it. So this one is here, and this one you can make it here. This one you can make it here. This one you can make it here. So
Is it keyframed right now?
no, it's just.
How does it know where to move if it's not keyframed?
So you have different positions, different objects in
Oh, I
different
see.
positions.
The object has been moved, so you don't need a key.
So it's turning on and off in different places.
Okay. So when you move, whenever the playhead moves through, it's going to turn it on.
Yeah. So I'm gonna make a bunch of them, just a whole bunch of them in different places.
Okay.
This one over here. So now we have like, it's not a displacement, but it's
Bubbling effect.
bubbling effect. That. So it doesn't move. I wanted to get rid of the bubble moving like that, right?
Right.
So it doesn't look like it's dragging the bubble, but it's actually bubbling, you know?
Okay.
So now we have this,
Okay.
make it that. And now you can go back and you can actually make this composition. So let's say that let's imagine that this composition already has a bunch of bubbles inside bubbling. Now you can make this composition with the anchor the position, and then move your playhead and move the position. So now you actually have a displacement of a container, which inside the container you just have random bubbles popping on and off. So now you have a bubbles. Wait, that's what I wanted to get rid of. Shit, it didn't work. Fuck, I don't want it to look like it's dragging.
So it's moving in one position? Is that what you're saying?
How can you do? Yeah.
So how
Because the other thing they can do is just to fucking duplicate this thing.
Right.
You just like you already have it like that, and now you can just
Right.
and then you can select all these ones and then duplicate, and then change the position. You know, And then you have like a bunch of
Why
iterations.
do you have to? Why can't you just? You can't just duplicate these because they're not in a keyframe, right? You have to duplicate the whole thing.
Yeah, because they're not keyframe. It's not one layer that is keyframed into doing something. It's different objects appearing and disappearing. So that's why I'm selecting a bunch of layers. So that's why I make those layers into a composition. So when you can have a clean composition right here. So
Okay. So
pretty
okay.
much.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I mean, you know it's the effect is there, right?
yeah, it's kinda right.
So that's the way you would do it on this.
Yeah, but I will duplicate it a bunch of times, and then
So where do you put the regular bubbles, right? Okay. So
I will make it, and then like since I already have it into a container, now you can just make the small container into the size of, let's say this is your whole video, right? And then you make it just like
okay, but where's the rest of the bubbles in relation?
inside
How do you open up so you can see? Can you
the
see it?
double click it bubble container, and then it's all this.
But where's all the rest of the bubbles that were in the original?
I didn't work with them.
So can you put those in so you got the whole? So in other words,
Yeah, you can. So
how do you put that in? So what you're searching for is with.
I would change the sizes of the layers.
Okay, so what you're searching for is okay, let me see here. So you have these bubbles, right? And you have the whole trail of the full bubbles, but randomly they're popping as he's swimming. So you've got them popping, but how do you add all these bubbles into that stream? So that when you look at it, you've got all these bubbles, but then there's random bubbles popping within the stream like a normal trail. Can you do so? So if you add a layer of the full bubbles, it does. As long as it moves along with it, it'll look like it, won't it?
Yeah. So you will have to make it. So we're starting back from
So
just
you
one here,
Okay.
and then you duplicate this one. You pretty much
So you have to do each bubble by bubble. You can't just bring the whole thing in.
there's a way of doing that, but I don't really
So
know
if
how
you
to.
so now if you were to open up the file and bring another full set of bubbles that you didn't need screw with, bring it in, right? And then just put that as the layer.
All right, so let's say that these bubbles.
Okay, so now here's the thing. So when you have it like this, it's not going to show all the bubbles. How do you, when you press this, is when it opens up to all the ones that you
No.
have?
Let's remember that I masked the bubbles,
Right.
And I deleted them.
Okay, so how do you get the layer? How do you get it back to it shows all of your?
On my bubbles,
Yes.
I will have to delete the mask.
No. So you had it. So it duplicated everything.
Oh, I deleted them. But
Why did you delete them?
so because what you can do is to make it like duplicate them, and then move it,
Right.
and duplicate, move.
Right.
So now it's kind of look like it's following. Oh, what the? I'm sorry. That's good. Alright, so this is our main bubble. Duplicate this thing here.
Okay. Now, can't you just bring in the whole mask of the bubbles on another layer and then have that on inside here too, and it would show popping? Since it's so where's the file that has the full set of bubbles? Where is that?
This one right here.
That's a full set of bubbles?
Yeah.
So if you bring this down here, what does it do? Okay, so can you work that in with the selection here? So put the timeline over here, but you're going to put the cursor head over here, bring it back here. So like that. So play it. Kind of like that. But to have this move too. Can you have that move?
Well, I can do the same thing, but without the mask. Let me see. Yeah, there's a way. I'll figure it out for you, but I don't know. I don't remember. But there's a way that you can duplicate a bunch of them, and then when you drag one of them, every other layer is going to be dragged. But I don't remember how to do that. So I have this one right here. One second.
So basically what you're doing there is just moving the bubble layer, right?
Changing, yeah.
So do you think that looks better than if you mask the whole thing out and then bring it out in? You know what I mean? Because before the other one...
It was just masked to one bubble.
No, it was the trail, and then you masked it. So as the mask moved, it unrevealed the bubbles, right?
Ah.
Right? So
yeah, so
this is different in the sense that
but you can still do that. You can still do that. So you can have like a bunch of bubbles just appearing and disappearing in the same composition, and then you go back and you mask this composition the way that it's moving, and you can get that. So the bubble is not going to be moving. 1 second. I think I have an idea. So let me just work with...
Okay, so let me see. So now this coloring has nothing... What does this do? That has the color of the mask, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this changes the color. So why would you want to change the color of the mask when you do a mask? Is there any reason it don't matter, right?
It doesn't matter.
Just aesthetics of what you know.
Sometimes let's say that if you're masking something that is already red, and so the red mask won't work with so that's why you change the color, so
Okay,
you can make a difference.
And so with this tool here, right? The rotor tool, right? What is this? The rotor tool?
The rotor brush.
Okay, the rotor brush is going to give you a mask around the object, and then you're going to mask it, right? So that you can invert it so that you can take out the background, right?
So, but the rotor brush is for motion tracking.
Okay, that's for
the rotor brush is not. It's not meant for this.
Okay.
For this task, you can use the rotor brush to, let's say that you have a video of this bottle, right? And you just want the bottle, so you might have the video of the bottle, and you're gonna rotor brush the bottle,
right?
And then everything, all this displacement is 60 frames, let's say.
Right.
So in each individual frame, the whole background is going to be deleted, and then it's just going to keep the bottle in all the frames. So when you press play, it's going to...
or you can make the bottle delete and then put something else in that if you wanted, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now if you use the brush tool in Photoshop, you can use that as a masking tool. Whatever you brush, and then you put quick mask, and it does the thing. So you can't do that in After Effects?
You can. Let me see if I can.
That's what I
Pen tool. Let me see if I can figure it out. Let's say that we want to mask out this bubble.
Right. So you just click it, and now it's into... Okay, what did you just click?
Inside the layer. I click the layer inside, so I open the window with the layer.
Okay. Okay.
Roller brush, refine.
Okay, there's your so you can't use that for a mask.
Let me see if I can try to.
So wouldn't you just put normally you just push delete?
Oh, right here. Oh, 1 second.
Okay, there you go. Right, I wonder where the hell that was. So, how do you pull that up? Because
Right
I
here,
couldn't.
window and then brushes.
Okay.
And then turn it. We can make it bigger.
Because in Photoshop you can right click and that panel comes up.
Yeah, but not
here.
here.
Not
here because you're working with time and pixels. So let's say that this is the mask. I'm not sure. I've never done it like this, but
Okay. First time.
let me see.
Okay.
Mask, new mask.
So you have to go. Okay. So you can't just press delete. No. You can't.
It's pretty much like painting over.
So it's not allowing you to
okay.
delete.
Wait. So that's the mask. Oh, it did work. Okay, so let me just do it all over again.
Okay.
So I can have a cleaner brush.
Right.
I changed the diameter of the brush so I don't struggle
So
with
you
that.
got all this in recording, right?
Yes, it's recording right now. So let me just make a mask here.
Right, so you're making a mask. Okay.
Right click on it, mask, new mask. And then subtract. Ah, God.
So that pulled everything else out.
Yeah, it
But
didn't.
not this.
Not the fucking ball. No. So it's not connected to the brush. The mask is not connected to the brush. No, it's not. It's just a brush. So the brush is just painting over.
So what do you use that for, though? Because in the Photoshop, you use the brush tool if you want to. What do you use the brush tool for? For picking up colors. Is that's not the one where you pick? Is the brush tool? Is that the one you use when you're going to do the get rid of the watermarks? Where you use the brush tool and you press Alto and then you open it up and it gets the color and then you can start brushing it out. Is that the tool you use, the brush tool?
No, that's a clone stamp.
So the clone stamp is the one they're using for the. Okay, there's the clone stamp, but I don't use that one. I use another one. I thought it was the brush tool. Okay, but I don't want to confuse.
So no, it doesn't work like that.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it doesn't work with the brush. I've seen no. No, the only place that I've seen the mask work like that is in Photoshop.
See, it won't work in After Effects where you can.
Not like that.
Okay.
1 second. I can probably figure it out.
Okay, well, it's all right.
Let me just try to get rid of the fucking mask here.
So I'm getting a better understanding of what's happening. Okay, 'cause I had no idea what was going on. So now let me stop here. So these that are blanked out, why are these not lit up? Like right here, see the text tool? It's not lit up. Because why? Because
You can use it inside here.
Because it's
right here. You're inside the object, so the object is pretty much the actual pixels of the image. So when you want to make a new text, you go back to the composition, and over here in the composition, you can actually make a new text layer. But you can't make layers inside the. So that's why it turns off. So because it's not allowing you to make a new layer inside the picture of the bubbles.
And so this right here, this is the composition. Is that what the layer of that? That's kind of not seeing it. Okay, you're gonna reset. So right now, okay, so you're kind of doing that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that is because you cut it, right?
It's cut inside here.
Inside there. How? Okay, so how are you getting it to open it? You're just okay. So now how do you? So to close the container, so it's just a composition. Is that saying that right? How do you get it to where it's just these are gone? These lines are gone.
Right here.
Oh.
This is the beach video. Remember the main composition? And then inside the beach video, we have the bubble composition.
Okay.
So now you can,
So now
all the bubbles, you just have them all merged into one layer over here. So now you can move the layer anywhere you want. And over there is going to,
Okay.
you can even have like that, and you can duplicate that layer. And duplicate this one too, and this one here.
So you're duplicating.
Now you have more. One second. Let's say that they all were kind of. So you can manipulate the entire composition.
So what do you mean by manipulate? So now
You can move it around, or you can.
So now I can put these right here, double click, and move them wherever I want.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
and
if you double click it, it's going to get inside to that composition where is all the bubbles.
can I move? So I can move if I double click. So now I'm over here with all the bubbles, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the bubble container.
Pre-comp.
Pre-comp. Okay. Okay. So that's pre-comp.
Pre-comp.
So now is this where I want to be to move the bubbles, or do I want to go to? This is the container. Is that right?
Yeah. So let's say that this is. Let's go back to your original pre-composition. So that's your. So the reason why you can do it like that is because you can have a bunch of these duplicated inside, and then you go back and you just duplicate one, and it's going to be the double of whatever you have here. So now you just duplicate it,
Okay.
and you move it, and now you have whatever you have going on here. You're gonna have another layer of another set of the same thing going on.
Okay, but what it's going to do is it's going to start. They're all going to start and end at the same spot, right? You know what I mean?
Okay, so for instance, this one appears there. That's the first
Right.
spot.
Right.
And here, since if you don't want it to be there,
Yeah, I
let's
don't.
say that you want it to be
Here, over here, because it's tracking. It's going to be tracking this way. You're
Yeah.
moving that
Oh,
way.
yeah. So you have dot, and then the other one dot.
Kind of like that, right?
Kind of like that, yeah. I mean, there's a bunch of more things that you can do with it. And trust me, you can make it more perfect. But it's been a while since I have done this thing, so I'm a little bit rusty. Yeah. So you can actually because there's a way that you can add code to the actual. So you don't need to do this. You don't need to do this thing. You don't need to do it. You just add a line of code. But I don't remember how to add line of codes. I don't remember how to add line of codes, honestly. But there's a way that you could just write like iterate this much amount of times, and it's going to just keep doing that.
Okay, so you started out with the composition. You got it on here, and it came in like this. So when it comes in like this, it's over here as the composition, right? It comes in over here as this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this layer right here, you can work on this layer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Is that right? I'll
What?
have to play with it. So this layer is the one that you're using to do the composition, right?
The pre-composition of all the bubbles, so you don't have a mess. Let's say that this is the layer, this is the container where you have the video
Right.
and the crabs, and since the bubble container has a bunch of things going on, you don't want to have a million layers here. So you merge them all into one layer, and then inside the layer you can still work around it. But it's inside. It's called pre-composition.
Okay, so these layers are from when you first started from down here, right? Is that okay? I'll have to
Yeah.
see that. I'll have to, okay.
So you can even select these ones.
Okay, right.
So we have here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4.
Right.
You can select those ones, and it finishes right here. All right. So and then right click on it, pre-compose,
Okay.
pre-comp 1, and then remember that it finished kind of like over here,
Okay.
and then we can duplicate this and then move it like around there, and this comp we can move it so we have this thing going on, dot, and then it continues, dot. Kind of.
Yes.
You got it?
Yeah. So, well, I'm gonna have to just send me that link,